as they were persecuted by others. The role of the laity was emboldened by the teachings of Vatican II, and many lay Catholics began to take up their roles as leaders in the church. Remember this history?
Yeah.
Now fast forward to today. Imagine the 69.4 million members of the Catholic Church in the largest body of religious in the United States. 69.4 million, comprising 22% of the population of the United States. Now I'm saying Catholics because as an ambassador for the U.S. Catholic Climate Covenant, I never see another Catholic in the interfaith efforts for global climate change that have been going on before Pope Francis came. But I'm telling you, I look around and I don't see another Catholic. So that's why I'm saying Catholics. And if there are people that are not Catholic here, then you need to help push the Catholics. Because Catholics are not known for speaking out on this topic. But we're 22% of the population, that's what I want to say. However, the influence of our numbers for social justice and earth justice have been much fainter than 22% of the population. That should be 22% of every effort of interfaith groups. Until now, with the teaching of Pope Francis on his encyclical Laudato Si, on care for our common home, then something miraculous is going to happen. One by one, these Catholics became so conscious of the part they could play at this most critical time when Earth's ozone layer is dissolving. Peak oil has already happened and passed us by, and the warnings about global climate change were rampant, that they decided they would rise to the challenge as a group and do everything in their power to respond to these warnings. This is us. This is you. They chose to act as one. No longer would they take natural resources for granted or use fossil fuels and water indiscriminately. Every local parish committed itself to recycle everything possible. Driving cars soon became a thoughtful decision. Carpooling became the norm, and public transportation was no longer a novelty. Praying together included concern for Earth's survival, and each of them took on a practice of connecting with other groups who were working on ecological sustainability. Soon, Catholics were known as agents for change for Earth's survival. And all over the world, they were connecting with others to work together for the fig tree's one more year of life. Through their practice of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, they felt the action of God moving through them. It was a miracle. So here we are today, the weekend after Pope Francis shared our land with us, spoke with us in our own cities, challenged our lawmakers and the world's most powerful legislative bodies, ate our hoagies in Philly, spoke with prisoners, people who are homeless and marginalized in our society, as well as with our church leaders and all of us. He called for our best selves to rise to the call. How can we not act? We must. As Pope Francis says, it is no longer an option. It is a moral imperative. And it is an integral ecological mandate. For this mandate includes love of all creation, the human as well as all other species of life, the water, air, and land. We are asked to be our brother and sister's loving companion on the journey. We are to influence the systems that keep a consumerist lifestyle in place. Now, think about it. The greed of those who have much cannot continue to rule the marketplace. But it will if we do not do our part. All of us together must make the demands that are needed to change the systems that maintain our comfortable lifestyles. Even when we are blind to our situation and cannot actually see it, we must change to become aware. It's a conscious choice to become more aware. When people say, I don't know what to do, that's a cop-out. Because we can learn what to do. Pope Francis does not let anyone off the hook. He smiles so sweet and smiles. But he is saying the hardest things we've ever heard as a capitalist, consumerist society. He minces no words. And when he was told he might embarrass the United States, he has no intention of embarrassing. He's just speaking the truth. And he is speaking it with love. To those who would espouse a capitalist market system, which is the hallmark of our U.S. economy, he challenges us to re-examine its principles of unbridled production, unjust wages, and environmental destruction. Those are the hallmarks we export when we send our multinational corporations overseas, and they get taxed. They get out from under the tax laws here. They get out from under the EPA's regulation here to destroy Earth in other places, which will just come back to us in the long run. No economic system can be considered good unless it asks these questions. Who is hurt by it? Who benefits by it? And our Holy Father says that we are not committed to an ideology, but to a person, to Christ, to Jesus Christ. We're not espousing communism, atheistic communism, but we are espousing Christian communism. When did that go out? That's never been changed. But Marxist or atheistic communism, yes. Capitalism, the ideologies are both broken. So neither capitalism nor communism can be held sacrosanct. We need to look beyond what the market system demands and change our habits and patterns of behavior. We cannot do this unless we are on fire with love. That fire burns in the hearts of each of us who believe we have been created in the image of God 15 billion years ago. We believe it is the image of God, the God of love, that is being tarnished every time we lose a species to extinction and our lands, our oceans rise over our lands. We are losing another revelation of the face of God. And how great it is that you young leaders, farmers, are handling that image. You are handling the image of God. You are cultivating and respecting and reverencing that image. We have a history in the United States of our own bishops writing, teaching about peace, racial harmony, and the economy.